The altar, she supposed, and on it was Hector.
Is the throne empty? Is the king dead? The empire unpossessed?
Off with his head.
Let's get right into it. This is The Dirt.
The Dirt Podcast.
And this is Danny, Steve, John, and me, David.
There we go. The same crew. We got Danny Miranda, the Miranda brothers.
What
Danny
up?
and Stevie.
How's it going?
And then we got Johnny Peace and the creator of the Dirt, David Pursley.
And we're going to start right into Kanye. That wasn't on the agenda, but it's happening right now. He's having a live mental breakdown on Twitter.
As we speak.
This is Monday night. What's the date?
The 20th.
The 20th of July. And, Kanye is tweeting his mental breakdown right now. His wife is trying to get him into a mental facility after his speech. What was that exactly? His rally?
It's for your safety, Kanye.
I didn't look too much into it. I guess he's been going on and on about how
He was saying you get $1 million.
you get $1 million if you have a kid. So right off the bat, Kanye for president.
Everybody's going to have a kid.
But then rent's just going to be $20,000 a month now.
and he cried on stage.
Isn't all of rent $20,000?
Or pretty close to it.
Let them eat cake.
Then he, I guess he cried on stage, talked about how Kim wanted an abortion and he saved his daughter's life. So I'm sure she's thrilled with him.
And his mom saved his life.
She's like, thanks for airing our family business.
Way
for the
to
whole
throw her
world
under
to
the
hear.
first lady under the bus right away.
Yeah, right off the bat, right out the gate. So that should be an awkward Rube
I
situation.
wonder if those kids are going to make it.
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
make it.
But he was tweeting about that.
He's made it. Look at him, how crazy he is. And yet he's
Yeah.
a millionaire.
Do you think the Smith kids made it?
1.3 billion.
The Smith kids?
Will Smith's kids?
Oh, yeah.
That's what
they're gonna
that's
make
what
it.
Kanye's kids are gonna do. Whatever that is.
I think
But Kanye's crazy, and Will Smith, he seems
Oh,
a little less crazy.
Yeah,
I feel
that's true.
I feel really bad for. I was actually listening to Summertime on the way here. I was on the radio. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is like when Will Smith was cool. But I actually feel really bad for Will Smith, man, because I just know that pain and it sucks. When you hear his voice cracking, you're just like, ooh, she just did him dirty.
I think a lot of guys over 40 know that pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it kind of also made me feel a little bit better because I'm like, well, he has a lot going. If that's happening to Will Smith, maybe that's an epidemic that's just happening all over the world. So
What about Kanye? Has he been through that?
he's going to.
Yeah, he might.
He's going to.
He's
now.
on his way.
She's trying to
What's
lock
the
him up
newest
right now.
tweets? What are his most recent tweets?
Well, he's saying Kim was trying to. This was less than an hour ago. He was saying Kim was trying to fly up to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up, like in the movie Get Out, because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday, like you were saying, Danny. NBC locked up Bill Cosby. I love my wife. My family must live next to me. I'm not an E or an NBC anymore. Righteous indignation. My children will never do Playboy.
What
If I
did
get-
you say
Well,
about
that's a
Get
good
Out?
goal.
Oh, if I get locked up like Mandela, you know why? Everyone knows Get Out was about me.
There we go.
You know,
I didn't know that. So
to
now
be
I know.
honest, when you look at the plot of Get Out, where it's like white people kidnapping black people,
Yeah.
that does describe the Kardashians and every single way. Like when you really think about it, they go in there totally fine for a weekend to meet the folks. Next thing you know, they're all crazy. You got Lamar Odom, OD in a bunny ranch in Nevada, at a brothel.
How
At
would
least
you
he
like
went
that?
out. At
Kanye
least he
going
went out with a
crazy.
bang.
Yeah.
How would you
right.
like them for in-laws, the Kardashians?
Oh wait, did Odom die? He's alive,
No,
right?
he's
okay.
alive.
Okay, then I don't feel so bad.
But we'll spread that rumor anyway.
Yeah, that's been debunked. But yeah, I don't know. Something happens when
That's
it comes
gonna be
to
that's our
Kardashians.
slogan. It's been debunked.
Look what happened to I mean Bruce Jenner.
So it all kind of started. Let's go through a little bit of the history of Kanye.
Okay.
So we'll first name his nicknames, because you might know him by his other names.
I think he used to go by Black Jesus at one point.
Black
Yes,
Jesus.
I only have a couple here that show the Con Man with the K, the Louis Vuitton Don, Yeezy. There's
I think Yeezus is one.
there's a
Jesus.
Kanye nickname generator where you
Oh
can
yeah.
put
Oh,
your,
yeah.
Jesus.
you could put your name in. I put my name in, and it came up. Combs the Creator was my Kanye nickname.
Oh, let's do our Kanye nicknames.
You want to do all of them?
Yeah. Because what's Dave?
There's only 4 of us. I think we can handle it.
Yeah, we got it. I don't have a computer, so
Let's just do
So-
all of ours, but not yours, Danny.
I already did mine. It's Combs the Creator.
No, we don't. No, you didn't.
Now we're gonna go to Dave. I'm putting your full name in. Yours is Ricardo Versace. That sounds like a porn name. I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
awesome. Ricardo Versace.
Johnny Boy.
I go with that.
Warhol the Don.
Warhol the Don.
Like Andy
Dude, I made
Warhol?
an Andy Warhol reference last podcast, didn't I?
There
Yes.
you go. See, it's been decided. And
It's Warhol the Don,
How did it know?
Steve
I think I like mine the best.
the gardener.
Fuckface. Oh no, sorry, Pyrex Corniche. Sorry, no, I'm just messing with you. Pyrex Corniche. That's
What?
it. Pyrex Corniche.
Who's
That-
Corniche?
That's Steve's Kanye name.
Is that like-
Pyrex Corniche. It's first and last name.
Pyrex.
Pyrex.
Like the dish that you cook in.
Like a big beefy dude from American Gladiators. They try
Okay.
to knock you down as you run by. Pyrex.
There we go. And
And
then
then
Corniche,
Corniche.
game hen.
Yes, exactly.
Hold on, I have a question, man. This is
Steve got the lamest one. Sorry, Steve.
Lamest or best.
That sounds
How
like
you
a
see it.
Tupperware
best,
company.
this
So
Imagine that as a
obscure.
porn name.
this is disturbing because you have to put in your first and last name. So I wonder if this website is capturing that information.
Oh, yeah. And feeding it to-
maybe using
to
it for
Jesus.
some
Feeding it to
sinister
Kanye.
plan.
yeah, maybe.
Would you say Kanye
Damn it,
has a
delete.
Now we're
Jesus?
all going to get
Delete.
COVID from
Delete.
our 5G phones that we don't have yet.
Would you say Kanye has a Jesus complex?
Yes. Yes. Well, it's funny because I remember this one video one time. Well, he's bipolar, so I
Yeah,
feel
he's
bad talking
diagnosed bipolar.
But he is diagnosed
Confirmed.
bipolar, which can you be a president if you have a diagnosed bipolar? I mean, we have a reality show game show host on our, as a president. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he broke open the door for all of the.
I'm
the
not
mental
gonna lie, $1
illnesses.
million if the polls are tomorrow and that was guaranteed. I don't need to see a birth certificate or anything. I'm good. $1 million.
It's like this though. An advisor told them, promised them something, because that's a common political thing. Politicians lie to you and promised you something. Well, what can I promise them? $1 million. So that's his promise that he's not going to keep.
So the crazy thing is, we're talking about the stuff he said, but no, it's like he was wearing a bulletproof vest,
Yeah, I saw
and,
that.
and in 2020 was shaved into his head, and that doesn't even register as the weirdest thing. If he said normal stuff, that would be the weird thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We are one step away from the movie Idiocracy. If you've never seen Idiocracy, it's a
Great movie.
it's a great movie, but
It's
it's
on my
very
list.
silly. But at the same time, it just shows
It's
where we're headed.
So, premise of the movie: two people are cryogenically frozen because they do one of those
Army test.
Yeah, they do a test where they can make some money, and they were supposed to be frozen a day or two just to.
Something happened. It was like 200, 300 years or something.
They wake up 300 years later, and everybody is
everybody's stupid.
stupider.
Everybody, the crops are dying. Everybody's just.
I
Nobody
think-
drinks water. They just drink a sports drink called Brondo
And it's because it has electrolytes.
because it has electrolytes. It's
And
like,
that's all they're
Brondo
looking
has
for.
electrolytes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we're headed.
and the president is like super macho.
Yeah, the
like,
president's-
alpha male.
Yeah, he's like this big. He's a WWE like double time SmackDown porn star. It's just everybody parties and drinks. It's really weird.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I think I could
that's where we're
survive
headed,
in that
basically.
world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could be stupid. Professional stupid.
All right. So Kanye.
So it was the early weird thing he did. Besides his, he compared himself to Jesus a lot. I think wasn't he like Jesus on one of the covers of his album?
It
early
comes
on?
out the Black Jesus or Yeezus.
Yeah, and then in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, he said Bush doesn't like black people. Just
That was
randomly,
awesome.
he just
During
went
the
off script.
Yeah, just Hurricane Katrina was a fundraiser, and it was him and Mike Myers, the guy who plays Austin Powers. Not the serial
Yeah,
killer.
baby.
And yeah,
They were reading the script
they're
really
in the
blandly.
script. Yeah, and Kanye just went way off. If you ever YouTube it, or if you ever got a chance to see it back then, I was watching it at work. I worked at a bar. I was bartending watching it, and I remember laughing
Yeah,
hysterically.
Mike
'cause-
Myers just looks at him like, "What the?"
Yeah,
fuck?
Mike Myers' just face when he just goes, George Bush does not like white people because nobody was helping
Black
the black people or black people because nobody was helping them in Katrina. And man, Mike Myers' face is priceless.
And then Chris Tucker was next, and he was dumbfounded.
even Chris, even Chris,
Because
was like,
he
oh my
got the
God.
delay.
And he always
So
has
he
something
started
to,
to
say.
talk, and then he got the delay and heard it and was like, what the fuck? Nah, man.
What if that was Tucker's line and Kanye stole it?
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's why
might
Tucker
happen.
was so
Damn, that was my line.
because now he had nothing to go on.
Yeah. Where do I start now?
I think George Bush does like black people.
I don't think he cares one way or another.
No, I think he likes them. He's a beer drinker.
Yeah, exactly.
And beer drinkers, they're just, if you drink a beer with a beer drinker,
yeah.
they're having fun.
Did you see though he's really good friends with Obama and Obama's wife?
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. He likes
Like,
black
really
people.
good friends, like,
Because
with-
Obama's half black.
I think
right?
they
Isn't
joined
he?
together in dislike of Trump, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
I think like all the presidents.
But he's
did.
always making Michelle Obama laugh. Every time they're somewhere, he's always goofing around trying to make her laugh.
I think
Yeah.
he's funny, dude.
is funny.
I watched some YouTube video footage of him at a wedding one time.
No,
and
he was coked out, or he was coked out or drunk. But I remember
he was drunk
That's
for
what
sure.
But also, I think that's when he was doing coke at the same time.
Well, so he's cool then.
So he was doing Coke and whiskey.
You know what? Yeah.
Coke
Yeah,
and Jack.
right.
He got a lot of shit during. His
I want to make a
presidency.
whiskey called Bitches. I'm gonna name it Bitches the whiskey. In fact, I think it's one of our sponsors. So that way, when you order it, let me get some Coke and Bitches.
It's stupid.
I'll buy it.
I'd buy it too.
I'll buy it for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
What was his other weird thing that Kanye did? It was like on MTV. Was
There
his
was like
next
an
one?
MTV Music Award years
Yeah,
ago.
and he just got on stage for when he wasn't supposed to.
He had just lost. Actually, I remember when this happened. He had just lost his mom, and he was. They saw him on the red carpet.
Oh
He
yeah,
had like
that
a
was
bottle.
that was his excuse. But he was bipolar. We didn't know yet.
Yeah, he had like a bottle of Cavassier or something on the red carpet. Like he was down in it all night. So by the time he got up there, he was drunk as shit.
Yeah,
And yeah, he bum rushed.
and it was
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift. And then later he used Taylor Swift for a publicity stunt. He like called her out in a song that she would have sex with him. But then a phone call leaked that he actually called her to talk about it.
Yeah, it was lyrics, and
lyrics,
she.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she wasn't okay with it.
What an awkward phone call.
No, she approved it on
Or
the phone call.
She approved it, yeah, and they said that she didn't
and then
approve it. And
then
this whole
afterwards,
beef
yeah,
started
they,
the second time
they had like a
around.
fake beef going.
The fake beef, and then
Yeah.
it's just a mess.
And then he had a mental breakdown on stage, and that was when he first went to the mental facility that we know of, and he came out that he was bipolar, but he was ranting about Trump and how he's going to save America.
Yeah,
He did a music video just for attention that was kind of weird. Was that his weirdest music video, or did he have other weird ones?
I would say so.
The one I really liked
I
was
mean, he's probably got a couple weird ones, but that was his weird.
he had one with Zach Galifianakis when Galifianakis like nobody knew who he was when he was
really?
a rising comedian. Yeah, he did the whole song. Galifianakis used to go on people's music videos and lip sync their songs. So he did one with Fiona Apple.
Yeah.
And he did one with Kanye.
Yeah.
He was like a country boy with a tractor rapping Kanye.
He did one with his wife, Kim Kardashian West or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He did one where they're on a motorcycle together. She's like half naked behind him, and they're like all rubbing up on each other and kissing. It's got like a weird background where it just looks like a green screen with stuff going behind them, like the desert or whatever.
It's kind of like that Vanilla Ice movie. Cool
yeah,
as
it was
Ice.
just like the vanilla. Yeah, it's cool as
Yeah.
ice. Cool as
Cool
ice.
as ice.
Such
I
a
still
great
remember, I love
movie.
that movie. It's so bad. It's
I
so
gotta actually
Kanye-
watch that.
Yeah, you got to rewatch
yeah,
it.
if
There's
you guys
no
don't know,
rewatchable.
Vanilla Ice made a movie. I want to say this is back like 93, 94, 93 maybe, 92.
Yeah.
It's the worst movie you'd ever seen, but it's funny.
Cool as Ice.
It's like The Room. It's just so bad it's funny.
Have you watched his
Hello,
home
doggy.
renovation show?
I have not. He
seen
got in
it.
trouble though, didn't he?
He's like a licensed contractor, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's a
stealing
great show.
furniture or something.
It's
and
fun.
He got in
No
trouble.
idea. Yeah, I remember he got in trouble for something.
Well, supposedly he took back some property out of a house that was supposedly his or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was some bullshit.
yeah.
He didn't go in there and steal a couch, you know.
You know what's funny though about that video with where they're on the motorcycle?
Kanye and Kim.
Seth Rogen and James Franco did a full reenactment.
Oh shit! Who was?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
I think Seth Rogen
had
was
to be
Kim. Yeah, if I
Oh, well.
remember right.
Yeah.
It's super funny. If you ever get a chance, watch both. They'll make
We're
you
going
laugh.
down the Kanye rabbit hole.
Yeah, Kanye.
Well, one of my buddies worked on one of his music videos because he's a effects artist.
Yeah.
And it was total lockdown. He wasn't supposed to talk about it. He wasn't supposed to, give any information about it. I guess he got to sculpt. What's his second mother-in-law, Kanye, the Bruce Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, he got to sculpt parts of Caitlyn Jenner. But it was a giant bed full of celebrities. Trump was in there. Kanye was in there. Kim was in there. Who else was in there?
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby was in there.
Because
Because
he was
Of course, Bill
sleepy
Cosby's
too in
gonna
there.
be
all
in
these
there.
people were sleeping together. It was like a big celebrity.
But he
orgy.
was asleep. I think he forgot which water.
Yeah,
to
it was.
drink.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that video. I think I heard about
Oh, his
it.
ex-girlfriend was in it. Rose. Wasn't that weird that he can put his ex-girlfriend and
Amber
his
Rose?
wife? Yeah, Amber
Why
Rose
do I know so many people?
and
Why do I know all
Kardashian.
these
I know.
names?
Man.
for the podcast. That's
You know,
why.
my ex-wife used to watch the Kardashians, and I remember, like, towards the end, we would just watch separate TVs. I'm like, I can't just.
Yeah, my wife watched it for some time
I
too.
couldn't sit there through that stuff. Man.
No, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, but seriously, every episode I turn on TV, it's like, we just need to get away. We're gonna take another vacation. Dude, every episode you guys are on vacation. What are you vacationing from? I just hate. I want a reality show about people like in the ghetto, crazy shit, and then
They
when
have
you-
that.
and
Honey
then when
Boo
you
Boo.
and then when you air it, no, not Honey Boo Boo.
They hood.
I mean, like some crazy stuff, you know?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Where you try to bring the cameras in someone's house,
Like
and like,
trailer
hey,
park.
I ain't down with cameras in my house, dude.
They need to put a full production crew just on a group of crackheads.
Well, the white trash documentaries are some of the best.
The
Like the
best.
Wild and Wily Whites
Yeah.
of the Appalachian Mountains.
Did you ever see that movie
Oh,
Gummo?
God.
You remember see that movie Gummo
was
back in the
good.
day?
Crumb was good.
Harmony Korine,
that was
that guy that makes the weird movies.
the one. Yeah, he made Quick Kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I can't get through it.
I couldn't
tried.
get through it either. It was
Yeah.
terrible. And then some people are like, it's the greatest film ever. Two
The
kids.
payoff
like,
is
homeless,
the
and
payoff
they're
must be the
digging through
best payoff
trash.
ever at the end.
So hold
you
on. Do you
remember.
think Kanye will steal votes? And if he does, okay,
But
let's
that's
start
what a lot
with
of people
will
say. This is
Kanye
gonna be a
win?
ruse to
Or
help
who-
Donald
Yeah,
Trump win.
who's he gonna
okay.
who's he gonna steal votes from? Biden or Trump?
Well, they think Biden, right? Because
Do they let you
Biden.
vote in mental asylums?
I think Biden's getting the black vote.
like mail-in?
Is that a thing?
Who
Yeah.
knows? There was at one point
Unless
where he
Kanye splits it.
said, Biden
Trump's
said
not
if-
getting the black vote.
Well, Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And everyone's like, whoa, what?
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Remember, he was caught saying some bull crap about if you're a slave for 200 years, then it's kind of your fault. And so he was telling black people it was their fault
Kanye said
that
that
they
to
were
Biden.
slaves for so long.
Yeah, Kanye doesn't believe in slavery. He thinks that the slaves had it okay and it was a choice. He said slavery is a choice.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
he
think
also
it was a choice.
But he also said that there was a lady who she escaped herself and then she went back 13 times to free more slaves. Kanye said that she was actually getting the slaves and selling them to
Oh,
white
she
people.
said about Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Which
she
is
said
not
Harriet
true.
Tubman didn't free slaves. Like, oh my God.
She resold slaves.
She
Yeah,
resold.
like she's a reseller.
So-
She
So-
brokered them.
That's messed up.
Hey, man, unless
But she
history was
didn't.
written with lies, which it's been in the past, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it. She's freeing people. She's like, I can get them all the way to the north.
But-
But I do like those shoes I saw on the window.
I think Kanye's sources are questionable.
Yeah.
A weird thing was he was buddying up with Trump. I think he was even weirding Trump out how much he was into Trump in front of Trump.
I think Trump saw it like, is this will help me build a bridge with black people?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And
He does the same thing with Diamond and Silk.
He took full advantage of it.
Give us a
but-
Trump impression on that. What would he say? Come on.
You put me on the spot. All right.
Yeah.
Have him promote Kanye.
Kanye's a great guy. I like him. Him and his wife, they're great people. I've had him in the Oval Office. I wish him well in the presidential election. He looks like he needs help. But, you know, he's better than Biden.
If Trump, that was good. If Trump
I
ran
need some
against Kanye,
dialogue.
what would he nickname Kanye? Like, what could you possibly like? Crazy Kanye?
Vice president?
No, like I guess that would be cool.
Trying to
if they ran
spice up
together,
the
yeah.
vice president office.
The Veep.
That was a great show, by the way. Veep.
The Veep.
Yeah.
I always wonder if politics is a lot like that. You know, once the cameras are off, everyone's just cursing each other out, like just going hardcore. No PC on either side.
And it's probably
Democrats
like
or
that because there's
It probably is.
McCain was known as a super potty mouth.
Oh yeah,
They
Potty
did a
mouth.
biopic on him, and all he did was curse words when he wasn't in front of the camera.
Hell
President
yeah.
Johnson
Dude,
used to.
man, you get shot down and get
POW.
be a POW for I don't know how many years.
Oh yeah,
Tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, President
Let him
Johnson,
speak
he used
it
to
all.
whip
You
his
can
thing
say
out
whatever you
and
want.
tell people, we're going to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
measuring contest if you think you're going to win this argument. And
Yeah, yeah.
supposedly he was pretty big, so like he'd always win.
So LBJ, you're talking about
LBJ,
Lyndon
yeah.
B. Johnson. Yeah,
And
he was
used
the
to-
vulgarest president that
Yeah.
we're aware of in recent
He used to
times.
drop the N-bomb all the time, even though
Yeah.
he helped Martin Luther King. I think he was the
He
Civil
got
Rights
black
Act.
people voting rights.
Yeah, or black or right, yeah, voting rights. But he used to call the butlers.
And he got rid of Jim
N-word all
Crow.
the time. Not the
Yeah.
butlers, but he'd walk around the house saying it.
I think that helped him get the vote across because he was like, "I'm one of you guys, but I think we should do this too."
Oh, he'd be sitting there talking to his aides stuff like, I think we should go over this plan, and he'd be like, walk with me, and he'd go to the bathroom and just drop a deuce with the door wide open and make him
Yeah.
stand by the door. He'd just be like,
Yeah, he'd have
well,
them-
I think we should do this. It's like,
He'd have his
"Jeez,
assistants take notes while he's shitting.
that's a good president. He's too
Yeah.
busy to close the door.
Yeah.
No golfing in Lyndon Johnson's, just high fiber diets and whipping out his.
Oh.
So
Okay.
tell me if you guys know this. Kanye, he was going all Trump, and he even had his first breakdown was about on stage. Mental breakdown was about Trump, and he went to the insane asylum,
Which isn't good. Which isn't
so-
good PR for Trump.
Yeah.
Vote for Trump,
Yeah.
and you go crazy.
Well,
It was, though, in
what's,
some way.
what's not good PR for Trump is that Kanye's donation records came out, and he's never given to Republic. He's given a lot of money to politics. He gave to Clinton. He's never given to a Republican, ever, and he continues to this day to give money to Democrats.
Do you think he was hired by George Soros to upset the Republican
Yeah.
Party?
No, that's been
He's
debunked.
playing the long game. I see what you did there, Soros.
Do you think he was trying to infiltrate in some
That's
way?
what some people were saying, that he was infiltrating.
If after the presidential election he tipped his hat, his red Make America Great hat, and tossed it in the air, I was playing all y'all. Wow. I'd
Well,
tip my hat. And
He
give
is
him a good
bipolar, so
salute.
maybe he's Democrat and Republican. His money is Democrat. His
He's
hat
a
is the
Republican.
top of his head is Republican.
Shouldn't he be what do they call it when they're kind of in the center?
A Republican.
No.
Centrist?
Well, we're centrist. But,
Libertarian.
Libertarian.
Libertarian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a Kanyeist. That's it. He's
Yeah,
chaos.
for sure.
I like when you hear. It's funny when you hear like this back-to-back audio of Jimi Hendrix. People say you're like a genius, you know, on the guitar. He's like, I don't like that term. I just like to play my music. If you like, you know, he's like super humbled.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go over to Kanye. He's like, I'm a genius. I am a genius. I'm the best in the world. Okay. Yeah, they're like, we didn't ask you that, but whatever.
Well, that's just confidence.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I think things have changed. There's no humility anymore.
Well, let's just talk about his talent.
Nobody has
Or
shame anymore.
stoicism.
What do you guys think of him as an artist, as a rapper?
I didn't get into his music, but as a musician, he was a great musician for his
Yeah,
time.
I think there's no doubt he's talented.
He's very talented.
I've heard
Yeah.
better.
He knows how to. I think there is better, but he
Yeah.
knows how to put a hook together.
I like West Coast rap.
You know what? You can
And
get.
some East Coast, like
I
Wu-Tang.
think you can get tricked into going to his concert, like get free tickets, just gonna check it out. You'll come out a fan, because I heard his shows
If he doesn't
are
freak out,
epic.
if he doesn't freak out.
His shows are
doesn't freak
epic.
out.
If he freaks out,
That's
people,
even
dude,
better.
I want to see that.
Lady
if you don't,
Gaga shows are
that's a
epic. I'm
happening.
not going to become a fan if I go to her concert. I'm like, wow, it was a good show. I'm not
wait,
gonna
who?
bump Lady Gaga in my car.
Are you
I bet
communist?
you would. You may not
Are
bump
you
her in the car,
communist?
but you'll be a fan.
Lady
No,
Gaga's pretty badass.
She's
Is she?
badass, dude.
She is badass, but I'm not going
Did
to
you
bump her
see-
music. I
Hey.
never bumped a Lady Gaga song in my car.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but I paused that.
have.
I paused
I
that
have.
scene on what's the movie where she plays with Bradley Cooper? Dude, did you get to the bath scene where she stands up and you see titties? No. Oh my God, they're just perfect.
But you know, her songs are catchy enough, and her music videos are
She's
good
an amazing
that
she's
I'll
an
watch them
amazing
twice.
singer
When a new
and
video pops
performer.
up, I'll watch it, and I'll watch it twice, maybe even 3 times, and then I'll never listen or see it again.
Yeah, I've seen her videos.
it's
I'm like,
good.
that's creative. She's got a meat dress at an award show.
Meat dress, yeah, that's pretty good.
I
She's
seen
gonna
her on
get attacked by
Boiling.
some
How,
rabid
how
dog.
does she get away with the meat dress, and Bjork is forever railed for her swan dress? People were so mad about her swan dress.
Maybe it was that meat that was made out of shit that Japanese made.
It was 3D printed meat.
3D printed meat.
I'll be extra mad if it's swan meat, and then people didn't get mad at her for it.
You know what? The world's crazy. I saw.
Bjork's still out there though; she's still making music.
Is she?
She's still making her crazy music. She did an album where it was complete a cappella. It was only voices as instruments. That was made by Mike Patton from Faith No More, and Rozelle did the beats with their mouth while she sang, and that was the whole album.
That's got to be a hard live show.
But I'm not sure everybody knows this, but Kanye, where he made leaps and bounds, where he made his name, a lot of his early beats were his voice, and he would distort them to sound like instruments. So it was layers that were voices. They sounded like instruments.
Aren't most geniuses crazy though? Isn't there like
Yeah.
a fine
Yeah.
line between genius and insanity?
People say there's a fine line, and I say they cross over.
Yeah.
There's no fine line. It's
Some
just,
people,
there's a
yeah.
crossover.
If you're bipolar, you're crossing over for sure.
Who was that guy Russell Crowe played in that movie? That brilliant mathematician professor who helped unlock codes
Brilliant minds.
during World War II. I want to say.
Dangerous
Yeah.
Or
Minds.
Beautiful Mind. Not
Beautiful
dangerous,
Mind.
not
All the
dangerous
minds.
minds. Dangerous minds.
A mime's mind.
I'm just a white lady trying to teach these urban kids poetry. We trust you now, and we love you, white lady. That doesn't happen. I
Well,
rarely-
if she's kind of hot, that
if
helps.
she's kind of hot. I've seen teachers cry in my neighborhood. So neighborhoods, that was it. Just cry in their car. I'm like, oh, this poor teacher.
Didn't Edward James almost do a teacher movie, Stand and Deliver?
No, he did a teacher movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They trusted him.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't white, but
What happened to the teacher movies where they win over the one popular kid and they win over the whole school?
They went over the whole school.
I love that formula.
the principal,
Yeah, the
James
principal.
Belushi, and
That was a
Well,
little
he was
different.
in
And
the
if that was today's time, he was like beating ass. Remember, he was
Yeah.
like beating kids with a baseball bat. I'm like, that's not gonna fly in any school today.
what was the one with I think it was Louis Gossett Jr.
The same one.
The
He was.
same one,
He
right?
was.
Yeah,
He was
okay.
like the
Yeah, like
school
the vice-
janitor or whatever, the custodian.
Oh,
I would love to
That's
see
right.
Seagal as a principal as a movie. he takes
Go
over the
ahead.
gangs.
Pick up the knife. I dare you.
So with Kanye, with his recent mental breakdown, I love that he has them publicly. Like he has them on stage.
He has
or
him.
on
Yeah,
Twitter.
he's just insane.
Like Mayhem Miller, Jason Mayhem Miller, the MMA fighter,
Yeah.
used to have all his mental breakdowns on Twitter, and used to get to watch them real time while he's getting arrested,
Yeah.
while he's doing a standoff, while he's vandalizing a church naked.
He got famous for doing a show stopping bullies, having these bullies
Yeah, that's
fight
right,
like
Bully
UFC
Beatdown.
fighters.
Bully Beatdown.
And then he's running
On
around
MTV.
terrorizing people like crazy.
Yeah, he
Being a
became-
bully, basically,
became
the scariest kind, 'cause
crazy
he's
bully.
trained.
He trained in Orange County. Did Steve? You said you met him.
There's a lot of guys in Orange
Yeah, I
County that
met him
trained.
once.
How was it? How was that like? What did he do?
He just looked at me like he was really pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the
I just tried to say
steroids.
hi and say, hey man, I love your show, but he was not having
He
it.
trained at Rain down in Lake Forest, I think it was, at Rain MMA or whatever it was, the training center. A bunch of MMA guys went there. Yeah, they told me back then, before it was public knowledge, that he had some mental problems. Sometimes he went off his meds.
Rampage Jackson used to come into the restaurant I used to work at.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
lived in
he,
like
he had a
around Lake
run in with
Forest.
the law once,
Yeah, that was
He
awesome.
was
Yeah.
driving like he was going crazy driving.
Banging
on
Hey,
sidewalks.
but he had a big mural on his truck
It's
painted
a
of him.
Rampage. It's
Yeah.
Rampage. So like
Yeah.
everyone knew who it was. Like, is that Rampage Jackson?
Never try to get away from the
is that
cops when
B.A.
your
Baracus from
face
the
is on the
A-Team?
side of your.
And that's exactly why you should drill a hole in your floorboard, put a plug in it, and anytime you need to,
You just drop stuff out.
you drop stuff out. The felony hole. That's what I call it.
Tax.
Yeah. No, not tech. Yeah.
I think big.
this is not an endorsement in any way.
He used to come into my work for his reality show. They'd throw
Acting
food
for the
around
show.
the room, and I'm just like, you know. And then I served him.
Did they tip okay or no?
I served him one time personally.
Did they tip good?
I don't think he paid, actually.
So you don't think he paid at
can't-
all? He ran out the door.
They're like,
no,
this is
I think the
publicity
two-
for
I
you.
think the two
Oh,
other
okay.
people
I
that he
thought they
was-
dined and dashed.
I think the two other people he was with paid.
Yeah, but still should tip.
I heard one of the Kardashians, the Kylie one, she tipped $20 on a $500 tab.
Oh,
When
wow.
I hear those stories, I get so mad. Every time I'm on Facebook and someone's like, I don't tip, don't even let me reply, but I'm so angry.
What are you, Mr. Pink? I bought the lunch. You pay the tip.
What is this?
The world's smallest violin.
Playing just for the waitresses.
I don't tip.
Never mind what you normally do.
Tip your bartenders and waiters.
Why can't I be Mr. Purple?
20%.
Some of the guys, some of the job is Mr. Purple.
You're Mr. Pink.
I shouldn't be doing impressions. That's your guys' department.
That was good. I
Wait.
got scared.
So, as a server,
Yes.
do you tip or do you expect a tip on the total bill or on the
Let's educate on
or
tipping
the bill
etiquette.
minus
Tipping
the
etiquette.
tax?
Okay, there's a lot that goes into tipping etiquette. Number one, I'm not
You
talking
tip
about.
too much, dude.
I'm not talking about if you give bad service.
No, but Danny tips too much.
Well, I tip over 20% because I'm in the industry.
You tip 50%.
I
Don't
don't
even
tip
try-
50%.
Bullshit.
I do like $5 above 20%.
But you tip good too, John.
But not like Danny. Danny
no, not
tips.
anymore. That was when I was balling
Oh, okay.
a long time ago.
So if you were
Ish.
balling, you would tip balling.
Of course.
Dude, I used to leave too much tip, and my wife would. This is when we were dating, brand new dating.
She'd go back in and take the money.
She wouldn't even go back in. She'd do it right in front of me. She would take some money out and then put it in her purse. And she's a waitress. She was.
When I was working at Blizzard, the game studio, there's a guy there, and I won't say his name, but we used to call it calling the tip because he was.
His name
You
was
guys would go
Colin.
out to lunch together,
No,
right?
no,
And he was
I didn't
always
say
short.
that. I didn't say that. No, we all try to tip good. We would repeat places. We want to have good
Yeah.
service, and we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that we would talk to the waiters and waitresses, and we want to have a good reputation there. They give you extra stuff. It's nice.
Sometimes they
They're-
do. Yeah.
They give
Sometimes
you
can't. They
priority.
just can't.
No, we didn't expect it, but sometimes you get. It's just nice. We get to
Yeah.
know them. They become friends, and then we want to tip them well. And also too, they'd serve a whole bunch of people. But this one programmer who made good money, he would count the tip and he would make sure it was less, whatever percentage he thought, like 15 or 14 or 13, and he would put the rest in his
Yeah.
pocket. He would make money off lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing?
Yeah, it's
So he
not
called
cool.
it calling the tip.
Yeah.
Was he a white guy?
Yeah.
Was
And
his name Colin?
He was no. I don't know what his name was. I can't say it on air. But
But you would call. It
I
was
was
called
good-
Colining the tip.
calling the tip. Yeah.
Was this at Blizzard?
I was at Blizzard and
Can we say Blizzard?
we were good friends. I was good friends with,
Only in a
with
snowstorm.
this guy. And
Not anymore.
he One time, I shouldn't say this. He got a girlfriend.
Where did he get
He would
his
call her
girlfriend
in.
at? What shop?
I don't know, but he would.
She was a waitress.
For her birthday, he got her one rollerblade, and she had to buy the other.
Nice.
Like legit, like it wasn't a quirky thing. Like
But
he's
hey,
like, this will
hold
be a
on a
good.
second.
He just didn't know how to spend his money. He didn't. He held on to his money.
He was
probably-
that cheap. He couldn't buy the second rollerblade.
He bought her one rollerblade. She was a college student. Bought her
Who
one.
would
Don't they
sell
come in
one?
pairs?
Yeah.
How do you buy one rollerblade? You buy
I don't know how you
garage
pulled that
sale?
off. You
They're
gotta
like,
be-
it's one. If you want it, it's yours.
You
Okay,
got to
I'll
be a
take
pimp
it.
to pull that off, because
I guess. Good God.
Let me get one rib.
We get one.
Hey,
So till
going
she-
back to the tip,
how do you report how much the tips are to the government?
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, I think that depends.
all right,
You,
Epstein.
you report all your tips, of course, and it helps you get
Obviously.
loans for new houses and things like that. If you show
course.
all that income, they can't see me wink on the radio.
What do you think Kanye tips?
Kanye, I have no idea. Lisa Kudrow's a boss tipper. I've heard that.
She's banging too, man. Out of all the Friends girls, that's who I would have fucked with.
That's who
No,
you
you're
like.
crazy.
Nah,
She
has
I'll
a
take-
long
I'll-
neck.
God.
I'll take
Jennifer Aniston.
reals?
I'll take a
100%.
mid-20s.
Jennifer Aniston has
Aniston
kabuki face.
And
No, Aniston, all the way. You guys are
No.
crazy.
Aniston.
Aniston in her 30s, Aniston in her 50s.
A lot of
All
people
the
say
way. You're all
Aniston,
crazy.
but she looks good, but she's not sexy to me.
Oh,
Dude.
watch Horrible Bosses.
She's just as pretty, like a pretty painting.
watch
She's
Horrible
pretty.
Bosses.
She's pretty.
She is pretty.
But
Watch,
Lisa
watch 1 and
Kudrow
2, and you will
is
completely
banging.
change your perspective. 100%.
hey, I like Courtney Cox too, man.
I
She's-
love
she's
hippie
fine.
chicks. Oh,
Yeah, you like the hippie chicks.
man, I smell like patchouli.
Oh, God, I hate patchouli.
Oh yeah, dude, take a shower with
Patchouli
them and shave their
stinks.
armpits.
Yeah, no.
Man.
It gets all over you,
So
like
what
you
we
were
were talking-
barbecuing
what
in
What
the
about
backyard.
sage? What if they smell like sage?
Parsley, sage,
It depends.
rosemary,
I don't know.
and thyme.
I'd have to smell it. I just hate that hippie smell. That just
Isn't sage?
Shower.
What
I'd
about
shower.
girls with dreads? What do they smell like? Because I don't know.
like hippies.
Didn't we boil
Like
down
Leo?
some sage?
I don't know. I've never
Dave?
been, but
Oh.
it just didn't look like it smelled.
Do you
good.
remember that?
I'm not into dreads.
Sage?
Me and Dave, we boiled down some
Oh,
sage,
yeah. We boiled
right?
sage.
Because it has thujone.
Yeah.
And thujone is
Well,
the
tell
same
him- tell him-
chemical.
Yeah. It's,
I'm not about the all natural. Give me the chemicals.
Okay, so thujone has the same chemical as what's your favorite drink?
Boba?
No,
absinthe.
absinthe.
Oh,
so
at the-
Dave loves
The
absinthe.
European
This was-
drink that makes you hallucinate.
He's
if you
yacked
drink
out
it.
on absinthe
This was
right now as we
before.
speak.
This was before anybody was selling absinthe in the United States. We wanted absinthe, and John found a
Wait, so
recipe
did you,
online.
did you try the real absinthe?
Well, we
No,
made it.
John was making it in the
So,
kitchen. Like
what
a
you
lab.
do is you take wormwood, you put it in some vodka, and you put it in. I mean, dude, okay, first of all, disclaimer.
Wait.
Do not do this at home.
Did you guys succeed? Did you
Yes.
hallucinate?
Yes, I
Because
did.
I know there's like a sugar cube involved.
He slept, yeah. That's
and
with
you
the
gotta, like,
absinthe.
Melt it
But,
into a spoon with the drink. I don't know.
but the sugar cube is for taste. And
Okay.
the absinthe is the thujone. If you were to do it, which you shouldn't, disclaimer, you put wormwood in vodka and then you put it in a dark, cool space for a long period of time. But if you want to speed up the process, you take sage and you just boil it and drink it. It is the worst. I've had mushrooms a million times. Sage is disgusting when you drink it. But Dave fell asleep. I fell asleep for a bit. I woke up and all I could see was green. And that's exactly what happens with absinthe.
And the
All you
color,
see
yeah,
is
the
green.
color is always
Yeah.
like green, like in
It's
We had-
always green. And
we had
dude, it was a
bootleg absinthe.
trip like acid.
What's-
everything looked green, huh?
Yeah, it was dope.
What's prison alcohol called?
Pruno?
Hooch.
Yeah, we
Pruno.
we had
Hooch,
we had,
Pruno.
we had hooch, Pruno,
Like in the
absinthe.
toilet.
It was very fancy.
It was very fancy
Did
in
you
our
drink in the toilet?
apartment in Orange County.
We drank it out of coffee mugs with our pinky up.
You can only drink
I don't think I could handle
absinthe with
that.
your pinky up.
Don't get me wrong. If I'm like in Amsterdam and just like this is the real absinthe, yeah, I'd probably try. it.
We had meth absinthe fairies.
Yeah, you
walking
guys had
around.
American
They had
absinthe.
their teeth were falling out, the hair was
You
falling
guys are
out.
putting Sudafed in it.
That purple stuff. Did you guys see that meme? It was drinking Bush in the front and drinking Scissorp in the back, and it was a dude. I have the same haircut, so
What is Bush and Scissor?
so this
Because you-
right here.
because you
Look,
have a
if
mullet.
I have
For
a
everyone that
mullet,
doesn't know,
but
John
if
has
you
a
braid
mullet.
up the yeah, I have a mullet. Mullet lives matter. MLM. What up? But if you braid up the back of it, it's gangsta. It's like pimp in the back.
It's a gangster mullet.
But if you have a pompadour in the front, it's like drinking Bush in the front, but then in the back, Steve's showing to Danny right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the
basically.
back
Bush
is
beer.
So the one
drinking that
Steve showed,
scissor.
the picture Steve's showing, he actually has cornrows in the back.
Yeah, cornrows.
And
Rose.
cornrows. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's a mullet in the front. It's a cornrow.
I like those two braids. I always get the Snoop braids.
I don't like the braids.
Man, because you can't braid your hair, but I'm gonna do it, dude.
Yeah.
You
This
gotta
is
have
just the
enough
jealous
hair.
me talking because I don't have much hair left.
Is that why
Same
Jordan
here.
does it sometimes?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan's he's an old soul. I think he likes the '90s.
He's all about the 90s.
I think a lot of kids are getting into the 90s right now.
Yeah, of course.
When we were in the 90s, people were swing dancing for a couple years.
Yeah.
Going to like swing shows. So, I
the
mean,
squirrel nut zippers were in.
Yeah, squirrel nut zippers.
But the Squirrel Nut Zippers in the 90s was just a rendition
Oh.
of stuff that was going on in the 20s.
And,
actually,
and
it
Brian
actually sounded
Setzer.
like a 20s band.
and,
Yeah.
and Brian Setzer.
See, Brian
Orchestra.
Setzer sounded like a 90s band, sounded like a 20s band, but the
Mm.
Squirrel Nut Zippers actually sounded like a 20s band.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
put it on a record and put it in the Library of Congress and like, oh, this is a record from the 20s, people would believe it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great album.
with good production value. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're talking about swing music. We're bringing it back, all right?
Okay.
Get ready for the
Yeah.
Gap commercial.
We'll wrap
I
around to
remember-
Kenny G
I
later.
remember you
that's
used to
what-
like
Zoot
you used to
suits.
like ska.
For like a
yeah.
minute, I like ska.
I still like ska. True ska.
Nah.
Mighty
True
Mighty
ska.
Boss
Are you talking
Towns.
about? Are you talking about like way back?
Okay,
reggae
so
ska? Like
you
the
liked
19th
Orange County ska. So did
For-
I.
Yeah, for
I
half a
still
minute.
do.
But
I still
hadn't-
do.
At the time, I hadn't really heard punk yet, and then I started kind of hearing punk a little bit, and I'm like, okay, what the hell am I doing listening to ska?
It was your gateway to punk.
It was gateway. Yeah, you got to remember, I was
Did you
kind of
get-
sheltered for a while. We had to listen to DC Talk, and
We're not responsible for what
the
we
only
liked
thing I
when
knew
we-
what was on the radio. I wasn't aware of underground music until like my sophomore year of high school.
I think I introduced underground music to Dave.
Did you?
Yeah.
Didn't
well,
I?
I just kind of started picking up from different people.
I
hanged out.
John
started with
introduced-
Christian rock.
Yeah, I was only allowed to listen to Christian rock or no, not even Christian rock. I was only allowed to listen to like choir music.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
right.
And then
Choir
you,
music.
And then John
Jeez.
showed me everything like
I stuck
Jimi
I s-
Hendrix.
Yeah, but I snuck in a choir tape, The Choir, which is a Christian rock band, and then Striper. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then
Striper.
slowly
Oh,
introduced.
Dig Jesus.
To hell
Dig Jesus,
with the
yeah.
devil.
But not DC talk. I think early on
I wasn't a
people went to
fan.
Michael W. Smith.
Yeah, Michael,
Michael W. Smith
and
is what we had to
Carmen.
listen
Friends
to.
and Friends
Yeah,
Forever.
Carbon.
Oh God! If you guys know anything about Michael W. Smith or Carmen, is basically how would I describe it?
So,
if you
Go
didn't grow up
west,
religious?
young man.
If you didn't listen to religious music,
I found a Carmen CD. I
Yeah.
put it in my car,
Carmen
and he
with
tried
the
to do.
C.
Yeah, Carmen with the C, and he tried to not Carmen San Diego. He tried to. He was a Christian musician, and he tried to do one song for every genre of music. So he had a rap one.
Yes.
He had a rock
and the rap one
a
was
metal
super
one.
cheesy.
The rap
Like
one
with
was the
that-
worst.
With that cheesy rap beat, like poo, poo, tch, poo,
it was so bad. He
the
didn't.
one that they instilled in every like the Wendy's training video, like fill up the frosty machine
he
with the ice cream.
When I
Jack of
saw
all
him,
trades.
Jack of
when
all
I
trades.
saw him, his concert,
You
he
saw
looks
it?
like Big Surge.
Who?
He looks like your dad.
Carmen?
Yeah,
Did
Carmen
you go to a
looks.
Carmen concert?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
Did I go with
Did-
you? I don't. I
Yeah,
think
you
I
did.
did.
I
He
always
looks like
remembered-
Big Surge. Yeah, you did.
I
Did
always
you guys go
remember-
for there for the chicks?
Of
Or
course.
for Carmen?
Dude, you can find
the
some
tailgate
hot
party?
Did he draw them
banging
in?
ass chicks at the altar. When they do the altar call at the end, you go up there, you got some sobbing girl.
You just kneel next to her and be like, "What's
Yep.
up?
You act like an usher.
You like Jesus too?"
I'm all about Jesus. And titties.
I just
My first girlfriend broke up with me for Jesus.
For Jesus.
For Jesus.
Wait, who's your first girlfriend?
Her name was Rachel. It was in high school.
Dude,
And,
you're not supposed to say names.
Well, I don't say her last name. There's
Did
a lot
she
of
call
Rachels.
in?
there were some. I remember there were some churches we'd go to where like I don't know if I want to say this.
Go ahead, dude.
I'm not saying names, but John will say the name. That's the problem.
Okay, just say it then. I won't say the name.
But there was couples at churches that we'd gone to in the past that did not have sex even though they were married because they didn't believe in contraceptives. Which that I just don't understand. Like I could see you being against abortion or
The Thomases?
or no sex before marriage. You're such an asshole. Such an asshole.
That took me a minute, bro. I had to go through some old files. I thought they were deleted, but I didn't empty the trash and shit. So,
That's just a
Clear
recipe for
history.
disaster. Can you imagine laying in bed with your wife and you can't have sex? And you
dude,
never
they're
had sex?
so full of crap because they were fucking. They just weren't saying.
You got to
Everybody in this
bleep-
room
you gotta
grew
bleep
up.
the name. You had it.
No, I'm not bleeping it.
That's a common name.
I don't
Okay,
wanna be sued.
it's a common name. Yeah, the Thomas, the
a
Smiths.
common
That's what I
We'll
meant.
call them the Thomases.
The
People don't know
Thomases.
who it is.
The Joneses.
The Thomases.
When you grow up in a church, everybody tells you what they do and how good they are. But the truth is, they're doing the same as everybody else. They're fucking. They were fucking.
Yeah.
The Thomases.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff go down at churches. Just weird stuff.
So you were
Tell us,
watching.
tell us
'Cause
more
that's
about the
kinda
Tho
weird.
masses, Danny.
That's
I
all
think
I know.
Danny's
No, I'm
seen
just
his
saying
share
it,
of
it blows my mind to be that
other people
religious.
having fun.
Yeah.
Well, they can claim things in church.
I got kicked out of that church, by the way.
There's people at that church that were in the upper echelons of the church that got saved 4 times, because
Yeah.
the one before didn't count for some
Yeah.
reason.
So
They
it's an
redo
odd
it.
and even thing.
I remember stuff
God
like that. So I think
audited-
I did that a couple times.
God
like,
audited their
Everybody
salvation.
does.
reset, hit the button.
Because you go over your life and you think, oh, did I get saved
Yeah.
already? But I've sinned so much. Maybe I'm not really saved. Let me get saved for sure. And then you get saved for sure. And then you sin again because you're normal.
And then you
and
eat
then
some
you think,
mushrooms.
then you eat
And
some
then
mushrooms.
stuff happens, and
Yeah.
then your judgment gets clouded. For
And then
like
next thing
20
you know,
years.
you're standing outside the window of the Thomases.
I love
and you're watching them fuck.
Danny, how many people have you actually caught in the act?
Everybody has caught Steve.
Everybody's got Steve. For some weird reason, I'm like an aphrodisiac. Like 14-year-old chubby me was like an aphrodisiac. It's because I always hang out with older people, but more people have had sex around me
So
while I
what's
was
the
passed
number?
out on a floor than I've had sex. like the amount of people, you know.
Let's put a rough number on it.
By couples.
Yeah. Well, hold on. What? You
yeah,
said by couples.
Obviously
talking about
couples have-
so
orgies-
you're saying
orgies
people
as well?
jack off around you? Is that what you're...
Or
No, I
may-
guess no. I
or
guess
maybe
it's
he
only been
means-
by couples.
or
It's always
maybe-
been like at parties or something. Like I'll wake up and I'm like, "What's that smacking noise?"
Okay, so just couples.
No, just
there's
me
been at least
drinking
one
at,
honeymoon,
like a
right?
hotel party, and then I just passed out because I was 14 and I didn't have a girlfriend and I was chubby, but I was with the people.
How many?
How
Like
many different
roughly?
There's
Just,
been
yeah, throw out a number. Are we in double
No,
digits?
I
No?
guess
there's
no.
been at least one honeymoon, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that one. Jesus Christ.
Let me
Looking
ask
at,
you
like,
something.
6 now.
Have you ever woke up and you looked over and
So
that
not more
person's
people than I've
staring at you?
What's that?
Have you ever woke up and then one of the people that are fucking is over there looking at you, just trying to lock eyes?
No.
Did they wake you
Okay.
up rocking the bed you were in?
Every single time. No bed. No bed.
Okay.
You're never in a bed.
What is this earthquake?
Yeah. One time I was. Shit, can I just say it?
Yeah.
Should I say
Yeah,
it?
you
I
might
don't
as well
know,
say
dude.
it. It's too late.
Okay, my brother over here next to me. It's my brother Steve.
Permission is granted.
I don't know
Why
why
didn't
this
say all
happened.
that?
We were after his wedding. I took some stuff. I'm not gonna say what it was, and we ended up at Niagara Falls. Me being off my
Was
rocker.
it mushrooms?
No,
Acid.
no, maybe. Me being off my rocker. Keep in mind, this is all when I was younger. I'm a well-adjusted adult, contributing
Of
member
course.
to society.
I did
now.
not know you were on anything.
You're always
Yeah,
younger.
we found some guy that we were in upstate New York. My brother was in the army, and he just got married. And we found some guy at a liquor store to buy us beer, and then he also offered us acid. So we're like, yeah, we're going to take some acid.
Damn, I
So,
forgot about that.
so we took this acid, and I hopped over the railing and ran over to the waterfall, Niagara Falls, on acid, and put my hand in the water to see how strong the current was.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Anyways, when I came back, everybody, Joe and his wife were going back to Chicago. I was supposed to go back to the airport and fly to Florida. I said, hey, take me back to the hotel where mom and dad are. And they were like, we're tired. It's your honeymoon. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep in your room. They're like, no, just come on. It's a far drive. You'll be fine. We're just going to go to sleep. It's been a long day. I'm like, no,
Lie.
it's your honeymoon. I don't want to be in your... No, they just convinced me. I'm like, okay. So I remember just laying down. Everybody pretend like they're going to... You guys pretend like you're going to sleep. I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I wake up and the light's on, and I look over and I see your new bride in like white lingerie, like standing at the door, like some saxophone music playing in the background. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I just woken up, so I'm trying to adjust to what I'm seeing. And I look over and I just see you in the bed in your boxers, like, yeah. And I was like, okay, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Go back.
Please
And
go
so
back
you-
to sleep.
So I went
So
back
you had
to
to
sleep.
take something to deal with that mentally, what you had seen.
Huh? Yeah.
Whatever you were on didn't help.
Yeah. So if you're trying to lock it in, fellas, with the lady, just tag me along with the date. For some weird reason, I'm an aphrodisiac. Feed me liquor, I'll pass out. You'll be in like Flynn, I promise.
And that's awesome. That actually leads us to our next sponsor. So we're going to take a quick sponsor break. Brought to you by...
Yes, are we ready? Oh joy! Well then, I do enjoy spirits as much as the next gentleman. An exquisite wine, Cabernet perhaps. Or a glass of peach brandy to warm the bones. And yes, I've been known to imbibe the Americans' bourbon from time to time. In fact, here comes my glass now. And when I'm caught drinking bourbon, I drink only one bourbon, and that would be bitches. And only one way to have bitches, and that would be with heaps of coke. So order your coke and bitches at your nearest watering hole, and enjoy. Hominer, hominer, hominer.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So a Kanye update during the break, he sent out another tweet saying, "I'm gonna focus on music now." That's gonna be hard from the asylum.
You're gonna have to face the music.
From the Joker asylum.
I'm not sure, but I think he might be messing up his whole run for presidency.
It's just a little bit.
I'm
He's
not
gonna have a hard
sure.
time getting some donors.
I'm not a political analyst.
Here's a Trump tweet.
And yet you are.
But it's a picture of Trump wearing a mask, and he said, "We are united in our effort to defeat the invisible China virus. And many people say that it is patriotic to wear a face mask. When you can't socially distance, there is nobody more patriotic than me, your favorite president." And there's a picture of him wearing the face mask. So now I'm wondering, will people...
Yeah, that's good now that he'll wear it in public. Because he's only worn it in public one other time. He always tries not to.
He's definitely going to have some tan lines.
Did you hear
from the bronzer?
I don't know if this is 100%
The
true.
orange skins.
Yeah.
Oh. He also did a tweet defending the rebel flag.
Yeah.
Who did?
Trump did. He acted like it's a great American tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
The Confederate
so
flag.
And it's not. It's a symbol of treason. Forget even the slavery part. It's a symbol of treason.
He claimed that people don't see it that way.
Yeah, if people
some don't. Some
Some
don't.
don't. Yeah.
If people wanted to rise up against America right now and turn it into a communist country, that would be an act of treason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what tried to happen. Not a communist country, but they tried to turn it into their own. They wanted to secede from the United States.
But I will say, because I love cars, and I've said it before, if I
General
had the
Lee.
General Lee, it would have a Confederate flag on
Yeah, I
top
feel
of
bad
it.
for anybody that has a General Lee in this day and age.
know.
I
That's
wouldn't.
just like a
Shit.
fan of the show or the
Don't
car.
feel, dude.
Because I used to watch those cars or that show when I was a kid.
No, he doesn't
I'm
feel
not gonna
bad
lie.
that they own it. He feels bad that something might happen to it or they can't drive it around.
Yeah,
so
for
much.
sure. Because the General Lee, if you remember,
I'm speaking for Danny.
You
Yeah,
weld the doors shut, and you have to
to
climb
jump
in.
in through the window. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can never roll your window up.
I wonder
So
if those
people are going to
actors have
spit
bad
in
backs
it,
now.
you know?
I wonder if they have really bad backs. It's just like a barely walk.
I ain't going to lie. If I had the General Lee, it would have locking doors and regular doors on it.
I'm
Because
gonna put Tesla doors on
Not
it. Where they
Lambo
open up
doors?
like a DeLorean. Just confuse the hell out of everybody.
let's check out what's
Yeah.
going on Twitter. Has Kanye twittered anything? Twiddled? Is that what it is? Twitler?
He's moving to Holland.
Just that he's focusing on music.
He's gonna move to Holland and learn to play Holland instruments, Dutch instruments.
He's
and
focusing
take up
on
clock
music.
dancing.
Yeah, and he's gonna yodel.
Literally nothing would
Yodel
surprise me
rap.
at this point.
I bet you'd be a dope yodeler.
Yeah. Do like a whole track with him rapping over yodeling.
Is there a yodel rapper? There's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There will
I'm
be
pretty sure. I
now.
Because
know.
we had the Cranberries was like a yodel.
I think I've heard
Alternative
rap
music.
over yodeling, basically.
Oh yeah, I think I have in the as the beat.
Yeah.
I think I've heard some sort of yodeling.
MC Shepherd.
So let's cover
His next
some.
song is called Goat's Milk.
Let's cover some current events.
We were talking about just on break. We were talking about
Shit.
coronavirus.
That's what's
and
going on right now.
They want somebody said who had mentioned that they want to put barbershops outside and
So the governor of California has okayed, Governor Newsom has okayed barbershops outside, and evidently the state board has just brain farted and allowed this to happen.
and why is that a good or a bad idea?
It's a terrible idea because we're not supposed to run our blow dryers because we don't want to blow the COVID virus 6 feet. But God's running a giant blow dryer called weather. And so it's hot outside, it's windy outside, and now we're going to contain a virus somehow while hair is being blown away. That's crazy.
And you're in between a couple food places as well.
Yeah,
Your-
so
your
there's a
barbershop.
restaurant next door, and they have hair just, and right now everybody has long hair.
There's restaurants on both sides.
There's a couple. There's a donut shop
Yeah.
on the end.
and they want
There's
hair
a
on their
fish and
doorstep.
chips place. There's a
Yeah,
bar
down
that's
the-
shut down right now.
Yeah.
And then there's a restaurant right next door, Italian restaurant.
Nail salons, they're allowed to do nails outside. If you're inside, you can contain and then you can eradicate.
Through social distancing.
But if you're outside, you can still contain somewhat, but containment is actually the hard thing. You can eradicate. You can wipe the seat down. You can wipe the table down, but you cannot control the weather. And so that in itself is going to blow stuff around.
That's not entirely true.
Well, yeah, if you're in Dubai, you can control
Some
the weather.
people can control the weather.
I think I heard a stat.
Our government can control the weather if they want.
I think
That's
you
a real
can
thing.
control the weather. Yeah.
It's called the Heart Project. It's been around forever.
Yeah, and
That's not conspiracy theorist. That's real
Wait,
stuff.
what is the
It's a
Heart
true
Project?
thing.
If you name something, you got to say what it is.
The Heart Project is there was a terrorist organization called Cobra. And they were getting all kinds of crazy. So our special forces, our GIs, found a way. No, it's basically weather changing. It's a way to manipulate the weather.
But it is a butterfly effect. So if you do a bunch of things in this certain area, at some point you're going to change the weather over on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And so we change the weather by just what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole theory of it. I mean, all the cars out there, the pollution from the factories and things like that.
Well, I think
That's changing the weather.
I think the idea behind having barbershops outside is I think coronavirus can last indoors in an air conditioned area, hours or days, and whereas outside I think it lasts a few minutes, but still that's a few minutes. It's blowing around at least.
I don't know if that
hair,
makes
though.
sense.
You
If
guys are
it's-
blowing hair everywhere. That's the biggest
Yeah.
issue.
If
It's
it's
organic,
75 degrees outside, which is always is in California, by the way, if you don't know, California is 75 degrees every day, all year round.
This is why we have to pay the shitty rent.
Right. And so if it's 75 degrees outside, why wouldn't it be able to survive outside?
It's been getting hotter though.
It's hotter. It was 81.
Every year is getting hotter and hotter. Every year they're like, "This is the hottest year on record."
You
And then the
sound
next
like
year
you're
comes-
talking about climate change.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm not gonna bring it up, but it is getting hotter.
All right.
Notice
So
it.
whether or not it's getting hotter, still, we don't know. If it's 81 degrees outside, does the virus die?
Who knows?
I don't know at what temperature.
Who knows? Here's the problem: is this is all new, so that's why there's so much misinformation about it. But there is a new study. I don't know if we talked about this earlier over in Oxford University.
I don't know.
Did we talk about that earlier? But Oxford University, they're at the forefront right now of developing a vaccine. They've had a lot of positive
Oh yeah, we didn't say
results.
that on air. We were talking about that.
Yeah,
behind
we're
the
talking about
scenes,
that off air. Yeah, so
Also in
they're-
China, in
they're-
Wuhan. they've done-
no, we're good.
No, they've done a study.
Return to sender. No, I'm just
Fi-
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Hey, I know a guy, right? I know a
I
guy.
know a guy.
And
that has a vaccine.
no, he was standing in the shop at one point, and I had a package, and he grabbed it for me, and it said "Made in China" in it, and I go, "Oh shit, that says "Made in China," and he's a funny motherfucker,
wouldn't
bro.
care. I just-
He licked it.
Oh, see, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that.
It was stupid, but it was hilarious. It's kind of an American attitude. It was like, "Fuck it." And I go, "Oh my God, that's made in China." And he's holding it, and he was handing it to me, and he just licked the package. And I said, "That guy's a nutbag."
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
That's
what
one of
else
those guys
is crazy?
that's like it's a hoax kind of guy, you know.
So,
it's not real, it's a hoax.
The crossing guard that was doing the crossing guard stuff before schools were shut down. Schools are shut down, by the way. If you don't know, if you're listening to this later
Orange
on.
County voted to reopen them, and the state
Yeah.
said no.
Here's the thing:
Yeah,
Orange
I'm
County's going to
super
reopen
thrilled.
the schools because everybody's reopening schools. A lot of
No.
schools are doing 3 days. My
The
kids,
governor won't let 'em do it.
I live in Orange County. Oh, I get what you're saying. The governor isn't allowing it yet, but when it does reopen,
Oh yeah,
there's going to be 3 days and 5 days. Anyways, the crossing guard says, don't buy those balls from the store, Walmart, the little bouncy balls, because the air comes from China. And I thought, do you think they're blowing them up and then sending them over? Like, come on now, you're going to make more money
Allegedly.
just sending flat balls.
I'm pretty sure
you
they're
know?
using yeah, exactly. And then once they're over here, they just use machines.
So the fear is there, but is
like
it
that-
rational sometimes?
Did you
No.
think Chinese people were blowing into the balls like? We got another one that passed out on line 15, like a sweatshop of people just blowing into
No,
balls.
they have bats blowing them up.
Yeah, they have bats blowing them up. Because if you don't know, you actually can squeeze a bat and it'll blow up a whole ball. It's
Wait,
crazy to
sweatshops
watch
in
it.
China? I don't
I would get sweaty if I blew up all those balls.
I don't know if
I don't know,
I
Steve.
know if
Do
I
you get
want-
sweaty when you blow balls?
Sweaty balls? What?
I don't know if I want hospital masks from China though.
Yeah, I could see that being a little because people are touching them. With
They're
their
all
hands.
coming from China.
I learned a new term recently called bat wings.
Okay.
You
What's
guys know
this?
about that?
No.
No.
What is it?
That's
Scared
when
to ask.
your
By you mean penny?
balls
Balls. Okay, balls.
stick to your thighs.
Those are bat
Like-
wings.
Oh, when it's really
Oh.
hot outside.
Like when you staple them to your thighs.
Oh, shit. What?
You don't do
I
that.
don't know what girls you're
I
dating.
don't think you
That was
need a
Johnny Knoxville that
staple.
did that, I think.
The
Right.
bat wing. So when your balls stick to your thighs, that's called the bat wing.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I learned this from Paul Rudd. I saw him say it on a talk show, and it always made me laugh. When there's three gay guys pushed together, the guy in the middle has a name. Do you know what it is?
No.
The Lucky Pierre.
Why's that?
I have no idea.
The lucky
I heard Paul
Pierre.
Rudd say it on the Joe Buck show, like a sports show one time. It was the only reason I watched it was because Artie Lang was on there, and if you know anything about Artie Lang, he's a super blue comic.
Hilarious.
And they told him backstage, Joe Buck is like a sports announcer, and they told him backstage, be you. Because this guy used to be on the Howard Stern show. He was a permanent cast member. So they said, be you. You know, if it feels stale, spice it up with some comedy. And they knew, the producers knew what he did. So he went out there and he turned the show like super, like, I mean, if it was on today, people would be protesting him. That's how bad it was.
That's how good it was.
That's how good. Yeah, it was comedy. It's comedy.
If they're going to
So-
protest today, dude,
But
let's go over
Paul Rudd tried
Yeah.
to lighten the mood when it was getting crazy, and that was the joke he said. They were talking about the Lucky Pierre. And that's what made
So
me
now we give people something to Google search, but if you're daring, Google image search it. Don't just Google
Don't
search
go.
it.
No. Oh, you want to Google search something funny? I learned
Bat
this today.
wings and
Steve's got a computer right there. Steve, Google who blew up the blow up doll.
who blew up the blow up doll.
bats.
Who blew up the blow up doll? And pens are down. Bum 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 bum.
What
He's a
is
fast typer.
Huey Lewis?
Huey Lewis in the news.
That reminds me of the end of Leisure Suit Larry. Do you remember
I
that
thought you
video
meant End of
game?
Days.
I never played it.
What?
Yeah.
But I know
you
of
played
it.
it, Dave?
It was an interactive erotic
So-
computer game.
At the end, you find the girl. Spoiler alert. At the end, you
For
find the
anyone who
girl
still
of your
played
dreams.
these.
Yeah, right.
Was this like a game from like 1996?
Yeah,
or
you had to
something?
like enter
It
DOS
was.
commands to,
It was
to
an
play
adventure.
the game.
It was.
Mom, get off the phone! I'm trying to play Leisure Suit Larry.
So
It was an adventure game.
It was an adventure game.
Yeah,
you
choose
get
your own
herpes.
But
adventure.
it was funny.
You
But
get
like you
herpes.
were like a bachelor with a
Yeah.
leisure suit,
Yeah,
like a 70s leisure
and you had to
suit.
type in "put condom on." And
Did
then
you? I don't-
have sex with girl?
I
But at
was
the
playing
end,
PlayStation.
you type in "have sex with blow up doll," and you're
That's how
having
the game ends?
Yeah, no, that's not how it ends. You're having sex with the blow up doll. It pops. It blows out the window.
Okay.
You follow it out the balcony, and on the balcony is Barbie, or what's her name? Fawn? I forget. Anyways, it's a 6-bit or 4-bit girl with boobies in a hot tub, and you find the woman of your dreams.
That's how it happens.
That's the end.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
No duct tape needed for the
That's
blow-up doll.
romantic.
No, don't even need it. It
The
flies
blow-up
over the
doll just
balcony.
Rest in peace.
He's
Rest in
like
peace.
a modern Romeo from 1996.
There
Jesus,
you
did
go.
you Google it, Steve? I'll tell you the answer.
Tell me the answer because I can't find it.
Who invented the blow-up doll? It was
Or
Ada.
who invented or who blew up?
Oh no, who invented? Who blew up?
You said who blew up. I'm sorry.
Should I just say it? Did
In
I?
Steve's defense, yeah.
I
actually
did
said
say who blew. Yeah, see, Freudian slip.
who blew up the blow up doll.
Freud invented
Okay,
it.
so let's take guesses. Who blew it
Could
up?
be
I'm
Freud.
gonna say Adolf Hitler.
Did I start to say the first?
Yeah,
letter?
you started saying
I
it.
started saying.
You
it.
said
It was
eh.
Adolf
Yep.
Hitler.
All you had to
Adolf
say was
Hitler.
eh.
Wow.
Adolf Hitler invented the blow-up doll.
Why?
He didn't want his soldiers to get syphilis or other STDs from all the French women, from all the French prostitutes with the hairy pits.
Yeah.
And
Prostitutes of Paris.
the prostitutes of Paris.
That's a
so
great.
he encouraged people to make love to the blow-up doll behind the bush near your foxhole, I guess.
Because of the plastic shortage in the war, though.
Did it work?
Do you know? Do you,
don't-
yeah, it did work. Do you know how many?
Not too many war movies on that subject.
Do you know how many blow up dolls were sent to each company in the German army?
Okay, scriptwriters go.
How many?
9.
Oh, that was a good
should've
one.
guessed
That
that.
was a good one. Yeah, you put your mouth on the little porter hole and you blow it up, gentlemen, and you put it in your knapsack when you want to sleep at night. But if you go out to your foxhole, you could have happy frisky time with your blow-up doll. You can name her Gertrude or Charlemagne or any other weird German name.
Do you think?
Okay?
Do you think to spread the love around, they had the gay guy blow up the doll? Too soon?
Who knows?
Too far or too soon?
Too far, too soon.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Adolf Hitler was a kooky guy, man. He was a bad dude.
I think he was ahead of his time in that respect.
In that respect, I guess.
Didn't he was responsible for Budweiser, the
Budweiser?
the Volkswagen.
Budweiser.
Volkswagen, yes. I think even
Faversnugen.
Porsche. He invented the freeway.
You know, he didn't do any
He was
of this,
he
right?
was into the occult.
He had somebody do all of this.
The freeway was his. It was a painted vision because remember he was a painter.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I remember. I was.
he would
there.
paint
Quote unquote.
He would paint like animals and stuff, and he was
freeways.
told his artwork was shit. He'd get laughed out of the studios.
Yeah.
And then he'd start painting like futuristic things when he started getting into politics. And one of the futuristic things he painted was like a freeway, and he envisioned wide lane road, lots of lanes and a big road for the tanks to get through.
That's crazy. So is he the inventor of the Autobahn?
Exactly, which is just German for.
You know how many lanes are on the
man.
Autobahn?
That was a missed
9.
That was a missed opportunity. They could have called it. They could have
How'd
called.
you get me twice?
They could have called it the Hitler Bahn, and it would have been stuck that way.
It's the Hitlerbahn.
Speaking of Nazis, there's a video going around. I don't know if you guys saw this today, but it's a lady and she's going up to this landscaper just trying to mow a lawn, and she's like, "Show me your papers! Show me your papers! You're an illegal!" And instantly, like with the way she was shouting it, it just reminded me of like the way the German, not just the Nazis, the common German would point out Jews if they suspected them, and they'd just be like, "Show me your papers!"
Who says, "Show me your papers"?
She was legit saying, "Show me your papers." I've worked outdoors, not in landscaping, but I've done a lot of outdoor work. I didn't carry my wallet with me. I'd get all sweaty.
Who has papers?
Salud.
People have licenses.
That's the thing. If you've been
It's
through the
cold,
process of getting your papers, you're not going to carry them around.
Even if
you're
you
going to put them in a
have 'em.
file in a safe place because they're
Yeah.
important to you.
Do American citizens carry their birth certificates? The thing is, you see a brown person mowing a lawn, you automatically suspect they're illegal. They may or they may
Show
not
me
be.
your papers.
But who? It's not your place, It's not.
Was it at their own house?
Don't ask, don't tell.
I don't know. That was the
Citizen's
weird
arrest.
thing because that would be
Yeah.
really weird.
That would be weird.
Like,
Because
Why-
you hired them.
Why?
yeah, exactly.
Why do Karens think they can citizen arrest everybody?
So let's talk about what a Karen is. Because I'm not 100% on
See,
this.
and here's where it gets a little racial. It generally is a white lady, the kind of Karen, the kind of lady that wants to speak to a manager at all times, the kind of lady who won't put on a mask to go into the grocery store because she feels her rights are being infringed upon.
So a Karen is
or
somebody.
her mom named her Karen.
Yeah, if a surgeon could, if a surgeon can do surgery for 20 hours with the mask on and be fine, I think you're okay to go into Costco for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
And like the restaurants, they get so freaked out. It's like, dude, all you gotta do is wear one when you go to the bathroom or when you're getting seated at your table. Once you're in the restaurant at your table, you could take it off the whole time you're there.
I love Karens because whenever I see somebody freaking out in a store,
Yeah.
I stop to watch
Well, here's a couple of stories that
every
happened.
time.
One lady went into a Verizon and was demanding they wouldn't serve her because she wouldn't wear a mask, so she just urinated all over the floor.
She peed on the floor.
Beat on the floor at Verizon. Another woman went into a store and she walked up. There's a sign, you got to wear a mask. They told her she had to wear a mask. She just ignored them. She started grabbing boxes of shoes. They offered to sell her a mask for $1.50. She said no. And then when they told her they wouldn't ring her up, she threw all these boxes of shoes at people, at the sales lady. And then she stormed out and she left her wallet there. So she probably got arrested for assault. The point is, number one, everyone's videotaping at all times. Just assume you're being videotaped.
Which they should be.
And some of these people are getting fired because these
All
videos
these people,
go online.
every
yeah.
single person you see, you'll see a news story the very next day. They're apologizing. They're losing their job. People are yelling at them on the street. So, like, is it worth it? Is it really all worth it? I mean, just mind your business. And the whole thing about just yelling at people because they ask you to, that's just a worker at a store, first off. It's not even the owner of the store. They're not the president of the company. They're just out there trying to be an essential worker so you can get by your day. And they have to have their mask on the entire time they're working. Just shut
Yeah,
up.
they're not going to be sympathetic to you because they wear it all day.
Yeah.
And they ask you to wear it for a minute.
You
They're
can,
not going to
you
sympathize
can go
with
home
you.
and write up your sheeple article all day. It's fine.
Basically,
it's the
they
catch.
take offense to everything.
Yeah.
Read into
Yeah.
everything way too much, like
It's-
some other groups.
Yeah, it's
or
to catch
some
the
other
spit. The mask is to
ideas.
catch the spit.
Dude, I'm so bummed that Sheeple is getting kidnapped because originally Sheeple was just a bunch of people that believed in stupid shit, and
it's
now
been used
stupid shit.
It's been used for lots of things.
It's been used for lots of things,
Cults,
but originally,
religions,
the
let's
masses.
let's
The
get down
masses.
to the foundation of what Sheeple is.
Kanye's base.
A lot of religious people
Too soon.
believe that they're sheep, right? Sheep out to the pasture.
Yeah.
A pastor. And at some point, people said, hey, you guys claim you're sheep, but sheep are stupid people. Start to think a little for yourself. Start to weigh out, what does this say? What does this telling you to do? Look around you, and they were, a lot of times they were church people. We grew up in the church. We know sheeple. And so people that believe in any stupid thing, we would say are sheeple. It's a bunch of people that believe in stupid things that are calling everybody else sheeple.
I'm going to take that big intellectual thing you just said, and I'm going to remove just one part of it and quote you as saying, sheep are stupid people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sheep are animals.
They're meant to be led. I've had sales jobs where they tell you, don't ask questions, don't wait for them to respond. People are sheep. They just need to know where to be led. And then when you start to tap into that resource and you realize it, sales isn't too hard if you know how to do it right, you know.
Why do you think so much of the world is religious? It's because it's easy to lead a flock if you're just a flock of sheep.
That's why people sometimes, not always, go to religions, go to
iPhones.
choose parties, choose brands to be a part of
yeah.
for an
iPhone. I
identity.
have an
They
iPhone.
Stand in line for 3 days for the next iPhone because it has one new camera feature.
they
Damn
like
Skippy.
they like they like a package deal belief system. They like a whole package. They don't like to a la carte or choose what it is and why
Because they
believe
can't.
what they believe.
They can't micro-organize, and so they're given a package, they accept it.
Speaking of religions, shout out to the Church of Pastafarianism.
Pastafarian. Yeah,
There's-
man.
I think
IMAT.
I saw someone posted this on Facebook. I think there's a documentary coming out about their right to fight for religious. What do they call it?
Pasta?
Just religious notoriety. Like they want to be acknowledged as a real religion, even though their whole idea is based off of a parody. And if you don't know
The
what
flying spaghetti
the
monster.
flying spaghetti
Yeah.
monster,
Is the god.
he boiled for your sins. They
Mm.
wear colanders on their hats. But yeah, there's a documentary
heads,
coming out
yeah.
on that. They've been around for years. But you can Google them. You'll see
and the
some
basic
funny
idea
stuff.
is
It's almost like an Onion article.
global warming is in direct relation to how many pirates exist in the world. So you have to recruit pirates to keep global warming from happening.
Yeah, which is legit.
Yeah.
It has not been debunked.
And pirates worship this flying spaghetti monster.
That was spurred by the Kansas State Board of Education's decision to allow the teaching of intelligent design in schools.
I think that group was actually started at some point because they wanted to start a religious group, and so they made their own religion up. Right? Am I wrong? Or am I right on
I think
that?
they're trying to show the ridiculousness of some
But it
of
started-
all religions, really.
I think it started at a college and it had something to do with you get extra rights if it's a religion than if it's a non-religion like atheism. So they wanted the same rights as the.
Is that what
I,
it
I
is?
could
Is
get
that
it
how it
wrong, but
started?
it had something to do with that at a college and clubs.
Yeah.
And then it spread to, in some states, it's considered a religion, officially recognized.
So I thought of a quote from who I think is a great philosopher. He says, and I quote, "I'd rather live one day as a lion than 1,000 years as a sheep." And what are your thoughts on that? Because I honestly would rather live 1,000 years as a sheep
Yeah,
than
me
one day as a
too.
lion. That's a sucky life. You lived one day, you know?
Yeah. No, I get you. Me too.
Kind of like the fruit fly, or
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like a fruit fly.
I'd
you want
rather
to be a
live
fruit
1,000
fly or you want
days
to
as
be a
sheep.
tree?
The sheep's life is not that bad.
Wait, he took
It's better than one day as a lion.
You get Netflix. It works out.
He took that one quote of "I'd rather die on my knees than live on my feet," and he took that too far.
It was a Mexican philosopher that said it, and then Zach made a band out of it.
There's
There's a Mexican philosopher. I know that's boggles you.
No, I wasn't going to say
That's
that.
that's like two things that
little
shouldn't
bit.
go
That's
together,
racist,
right?
Danny.
I
A
wasn't going to
Mexican
say it.
philosopher.
No, I was going to say talk about there was a philosopher. I think it may have been Aristotle, but one of the quotes that always
was
stuck
Mexican.
by me was about God,
He was Mexican, right?
and he said, yeah.
Orale Aristotle, home.
He said, if God is omnipotent, Oh, I gotta look it up. It's such a weird. It's such a. Crazy
Somebody should
thing.
look that up.
I should look that up. It's been debunked.
I like it as it is.
It's just as it is. Okay, here it is. If God exists, then God is omnipotent, omniscient,
Omniscient.
omniscient, and morally perfect. If God is omnipotent, then God has the power to eliminate all evil. If God is omniscient, then God knows where evil exists. Therefore, God doesn't exist. Yeah, is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he's not omnipotent.
Right.
Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? That's the one. That's the one I was looking for.
That's a good one.
Damn, that's a mic drop.
Okay.
Epicurus.
So God can't actually sin, right? He invented sin, or he's the inventor who allowed it.
now
But
we're
if
gonna
God
have religion.
cannot sin, then he's not omnipotent.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense because God. They always say God is a jealous God or God is an angry God.
Sounds like a sin to me.
Isn't anger and jealousy a sin?
Yeah, it is.
So.
Right.
But now we're going on a whole different topic. We got religion. We're going to do another podcast.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
religion
By the-
podcast next.
By the
Cults.
way,
We're talking about
the,
cults, religions.
Chicano photographer George Rodriguez in 1970 had it on his infamous black and white graffiti photograph. It's better to live one day as a lion than 1,000 years as a lamb.
So okay, so
That's
that's where the
rage.
quote came. Who quoted that?
George Rodriguez in 1970.
There was a huge Chicano movement in the 60s and 70s, like in L.A., school walkouts, all kind of stuff.
Was
So-
he a beat poet? No, that was earlier.
No, that was
That
70s.
Yeah.
That was 50s.
Oh, okay,
That'd have
okay.
been 50s.
70s would have been spoken word.
Spoken word.
Yeah, like, a lot of
Yeah. I thought
snapping.
that was 90s, 80s,
The cat
90s.
is in the hat.
And the hat is
Jeez,
on my
he is fat.
head.
He eats lasagnas on Monday. He weighs a ton, man.
But Benito Mussolini was
Mussolini.
Benito Mussolini.
also has been noted as quoting that.
And if you don't know who Mussolini is, he sided with Hitler during the war. And I believed he was dragged to the streets by his people.
Yeah, I think he was hung or
Yeah.
killed. And
What do you
and
mean
his
by
wife
hung?
was too.
He died in a bad way, like Gaddafi, basically.
Yeah, public. Yeah,
Oh,
As he
okay.
should have.
really bad.
He was kind of trying to bring fascism to Italy.
What's that? What are we drinking, Dave? You brought in some rum that's 120 proof.
No alien vodka tonight?
No, tonight is
It's a
brandy.
It's a distillery in L.A.
It's
a-
a brandy.
Was it
brandy?
distilled in something special? Like
Your
the
balls.
skull of the
It's-
enemies of the CEO of the
it's
company?
It's Lost Spirits Distillery. What is that? What's the acronym?
Lost
Lost
Spirits.
Spirits.
Oh, I've heard of Lost
LSD, baby.
Yeah.
Spirits. Oh.
LSD. Is that what you were on, Danny, in the story earlier?
When I touched Niagara Falls with my hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary, man. Because, like, I touched it with just my fingertips, and then I put my hand in there. You could feel the force. And then I started thinking, what if the ground just breaks away from under me? And I'm tripping, and I go over the Niagara Falls.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the are
the
you
fuck are you
doing?"
And then you know what I did? I grabbed like these 3 cool rocks, and I brought them back to. I gave one to you and your new wife, and I gave one to Joe and Jenny and myself. And I was
Yeah.
I was like,
But
you
do
can
you
take a
remember what
Sharpie,
you
write
said?
Niagara Falls on it, 1990.
I don't think I have that rock,
1995.
but you know what I do have
What?
is your gift to me as one of your groomsmen, a shot glass.
Oh, I got one of
Oh,
those
John
too.
has
yeah.
one of those too.
Yeah.
But mine says best man.
I
Does
Actually,
it?
what is it? Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
So
what
do you
mine
remember
says.
what you said
But I
when you
still
put
Jesse
your
was
hand?
I was gonna have Jesse be my best man, to be honest.
Oh,
but
Jesse.
I didn't have his number.
Colorado.
You didn't have to be honest.
It's a.
So I was second fiddle to
Well, I
Jesse.
had lived with you. Well, I had to pick between you guys, and I had lived with you. And
Yeah.
You know.
Either way, I was
Lived
gonna
or
be there.
grew up? Come on.
Oh, well,
Hey,
yeah,
you know
I
what?
got more years I've grown up
Denny,
on me.
can you get the audio of that speech? I wrote a poem. I told Danny just as a joke.
Hey guys, thanks for bringing up my failed marriage.
There we go. I
Hey,
told you
it was
just
a
as
good,
a joke.
It was a good